Hey team, so I wanted to make this video just so we can have a look at how ALBs do path directory based routing. So what I've done is I've gone ahead and set up, or I've just modified the ALB that I was using in my headers example previously. So I still have my default rule, my sort of catch-all rule, which goes to my default target group. I have got another rule, my second rule, which is routing on a path of /path1, and that points at ALB target group 1. I've got my number one priority rule here, which is routing based on a path of /path2 /example/star, and that's pointing at target group 2. So what I want to do is run some commands at this ALB setup and just see how it reacts, and do some testing on which target it is pointing at. So let's grab my ALB DNS name, and I'll just pop that here for now. In my on the top part of the screen here, I've got my 3 target groups, or the instances in those target groups. So if I just come here and I do a curl to localhost, we can see I'm on the default target group here in this one. I'll just grab that command and I will put it into this guy here, and you can see I'm on target group 1 here, and over on the far right I'm on target group 2. So what I want to do is run some curl commands at our ALB and just see which one it routes to, and we can run some testing on here if we need to get a bit more clarity. So I'll come down here, I'm just on my local box here, so I'm going to run a curl HTTP request to my ALB, and in this case I'm not specifying any path, and you can see I get pointed at my default target group. So no surprises there. That matches our default rule, which has nothing on it. But let's go and grab one of the directory-based routings, or one of the path-based routes. Let's grab this one here, path 1. So I'll grab that directory there, and I'll come back to my local box, and I'll run a curl to /path1. And so in this time we can see we get routed to target group 1 and a path of /path1. So what this output means is I have in fact gone over to target group 1, and I have created a file at the HTTP directory called path1, and I put this text in that file. So we can see that we are, target group 1 is this one here. We can see that we are being routed to target group 1 when we specify path 1. Now let's just modify that request a little bit. Let's make it path 1, and I'll just put any other text at the end of that request, and you can see we get a 404 back. So on my target group 1, I have defined /path1. I have not defined anything at /path111. I've not defined that file, but I'm not really sure, is it getting that 404 from target group 1 instance here, or perhaps it's the default target group instance here. So what I want to do is just run a little bit of testing to check which one it's hitting. So to do that, one way that I could do this is I could do a TCP dump on this box, and I'll just specify TCP port 80, and I'm going to take away any DNS lookups, and I want that output to be a little bit verbose, so I can see the HTTP, see some of the HTTP output. So let me hit enter on that. Oops, I need to be in sudo. So you can see it is quite verbose, this output. Probably not particularly useful at the moment, but I'm just going to scroll up a little bit. What we can see, this is all basically health check information. We can see this health, we can see there's actually a header on this request, user agent ELB health checker. So I can see this is a health check request, and it's just sending it to basically the default directory, like no path defined. And down here we can see that this local box responds with a 200. So what I want to do is there's a whole bunch of very verbose output that's probably just getting in the way. So I'm just going to cancel that for now, and I'm just going to put on a little filter. I'm going to say grep http/1.1. If I run that, what I can see is just the health check, get http 1.1 and a 200 OK. So we can see HTTP requests coming through in this packet capture. What I'm going to do is I'm going to put this same request onto my target group 1 instance as well, and I'll let that kick off. We can see our health check and our 200 OK coming back. Now I'll just let a couple more come through. Should be seeing a little bit more health checks than that. It's a little strange. Okay, get and okay, 200K get. Okay, cool. So we're seeing our health checks come through. Now, if I want to check which instance it is actually hitting, let me run this same request down on my local box, path 1 with just some random text. And we can see that request in fact got routed to our default target group. We can see it right here. Path 1, we can see that my request there and the 404 not found, and we see that 404 not found on my local box too. So let me leave these running for now. What I'd like to do is do a little bit of testing on this path here and see how it compares, what we can do with this regex at the end here. So first of all, I'm going to run a command to this directory from my local box here. So I'll just get rid of my old directory there. Path 2 example subdirectory. So we can see this one gets routed to target group 2, a directory of /path2 example subdirectory. So again, what that does mean is I have gone onto target group 2 and created a file at this directory. So now if I were to run another request, again, slightly different, let's just put a little bit of random text there, and I'll run that request again, I get a 404. So it's not like I've gone and created lots and lots of files at this subdirectory with different file names. But currently I can't really tell, is it being routed to my default target group, or is it routing to here with the use of that regex? So again, let's put on my TCP dump and just see if it is in fact routing from here or routing from the default target group. So I'll say TCP, that's already in sudo, so TCP dump, TCP port A -nn -v grep http /1.1. So we should see some health checks and our local box responding with a 200. Okay, that's good. So let's just send it the subdirectory request again, and we can see our subdirectory request and our 200 come back. That's good. Now let's run that same request with some random text. Okay, so there's that request came through, and we can see our 404 not found, which obviously matches up with what is returned to our client. So I hope that makes things clear on how we can use path-based routing with regex and without. Cool. Thanks, team.